Since Saber and I finished our collaboration, I figured I'd do my own top video of my favorite Disney films. The collaboration was about the most important Disney films, the one that had the most impact and influence. They weren't necessarily the best or our favorite, but they did something. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. But on this video, I'm going to focus on what are my favorite Disney films. For this list, I'm going to focus on the ones that are 2D animated. Even though I do really like Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph and Zootopia and Moana from this year, I'm going to focus on 2D. Mainly because I thought it would make the list easier to make, but as I was writing names of the films down, I found out it wasn't easier at all. So instead of a top 7 or even a top 10, I'm doing a top 12. Which I guess coincides with December because that's Christmas related. And I also want to do some Disney-related videos for Disney-cember, the thing that Doug Walker started. I guess he doesn't really have a trademark on that. I mean, anybody can do it. So anyway, let me get started with the list at number 12, Bambi. I watched this a lot at my grandma's house when I was really young. And I recently rewatched it this year, and it's definitely very different from all the other Disney films. And it kind of has me craving, like, other films just about, like, an animal's life. I'd like to see an animated version of something like a David Attenborough documentary. But Bambi itself is a very cute film. Sometimes sickeningly so, but still, I love the film. Number 11 is Mulan. I remember seeing ads for Mulan in a hospital of all things. Like they had a preview of the song The Girl I Know, I think that's the name of the song. And that song always stuck with me for some reason. And the other great song in the movie, Be a Man or Let's Get Down to Business. Every time somebody says let's get down to business, just like casually, like me or Saber or somebody else will be like, to defeat the Huns. And one scene that makes me appreciate it as an animation is that scene where all the Huns come over that snow hill. That is a great scene. And also, Mulan is a great protagonist. It was Disney's first Asian princess with her being Chinese, and I would hope that they would make another Asian princess with possibly being in Japan. There's tons of Japanese folklore they could explore. But since Disney distributes Studio Ghibli's films, I'm not sure if they'll actually tackle it. Number 10 is Fantasia. This is one I remember renting as a kid, and I would kind of fast forward to the dinosaur part. Because back then, I was, obsessed with dinosaurs. That's why my name is Paleo. But as I've grown older, I've come to appreciate the film a lot more. All the sequences are great fun to look at, and the music is timeless. I do like the sequel, Fantasia 2000, especially the Firebird Suite, but I don't think it beats the original. The original was just, amazing for its time. Number 9 is Aladdin. This was one of the first movies on VHS that I actually owned. And I don't actually remember if I went to the theater or not, neither do my parents apparently. But I do remember getting Aladdin, I can't remember if it was for my birthday or Christmas or something. I was very young at the time. In 1992 I was 3 and I was 4 by the end of the year. Because my birthday is at the end of the year, at December 15th. But Aladdin I watched quite a lot. I loved Robin Williams as Genie, and I would, hum along to the songs and everything. Prince Ali is such a great song. It's very fun. And all the animation with Genie is just so lively. Number 8 is Lilo and Stitch. This is one of the few movies of the post-Renaissance I actually saw in theaters. I remember when I saw it with my mother back when she was living at the beach. And she actually said after seeing the movie that she thought it had a really good lesson about family. And that's definitely part of why I like it, but I also like it for the fact that Lilo is such a great character. I think the Nostalgia Critic actually said it in his Disney-cember, way back when, that Lilo is one of the greatest child characters ever created. It was definitely a high point of the post-Renaissance, since it was the only movie of that time that actually made a lot of money. And I've seen a couple of the sequels, and I haven't really seen much of the TV show though, but it spawned quite a bit of spin-off stuff. Which is very weird when you consider how unorthodox Lilo and Stitch was for a Disney movie. As far as I know, it's not based on a fairy tale, and it's not based on any kind of classic book either. I mean, there are other movies like that, like Wreck-It Ralph and Zootopia, but still, at the time, it was very different. And I always enjoyed those ads with Stitch being part of other Disney movies. Number 7 is The Rescuers Down Under. This is a movie I rented quite a bit as a kid. There's just something about little mice going on adventures that I really enjoyed. And the movie at the time, when I saw it when I was so little, I was already amazed by the animation in it. It was, beautiful. And I loved that lizard in the movie. I was obsessed with reptiles at the time, as well as dinosaurs, so I really liked that lizard. I think I actually asked my parents after seeing the movie if I could get a monitor lizard. It's too bad the movie didn't do that well, because it is absolutely beautiful. That sequence with the eagle is one of the best 2D animated sequences ever. Number 6 is The Little Mermaid. I don't actually remember seeing The Little Mermaid any time when I was a kid, but I do remember watching the TV show. But later on, I did watch it, and yeah, I can see why it started the Disney Renaissance. Part of Your World is such a great song, and Ursula is such a great villain. And funny enough, the animation that I like best is the hair on Ariel. It just looks amazing. And I do like Ariel as a character. I know somebody don't like her as a character since she's kind of, naive. But she's actually one of my favorite Disney princesses. And no, not just because she's a mermaid and that makes her an underwater princess, though that is part of it. Number 5, Beauty and the Beast. I remember seeing bits and pieces of this movie as a kid, but never the whole thing. So when I saw it when I was older, I was honestly kind of blown away by it, because it's some of the best 2D animation that has ever graced the screen. Though it does have some help from CG animation, the Be Our Guest sequence is fantastic. And Belle is obviously a great character, along with Beast. But by far, the best part is Gaston. Gaston is just so hilariously full of himself. And I think I've grown to like this movie a lot more over the years because of YouTube poops of all things. Beauty and the Beast is surprisingly a great source. Number 3, The Lion King. Like a lot of kids in the 90s, I was obsessed with The Lion King. I watched it constantly when I got it on VHS. But I didn't realize just how much I was missing by not having the widescreen version. When it was released in its true aspect ratio, like, it just looks so much better. And as you've probably guessed from the stuff on my list is that I really appreciate really good animated sequences, and the animation in the entirety of this movie is fantastic. Might it be a bit overrated? Yeah, but still, nostalgia kind of trumps that since I did, like, watch it a lot as a kid, and it's just still a great movie. Okay, so these next 3 might be a bit unorthodox compared to other favorites lists, because these you wouldn't expect to be at the top of anybody's list, except for mine, I guess. Like, I've already named off the major films of the Disney Renaissance, so what could I like more than that? Well, starting off, number 3, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. While I do like the 2011 Winnie the Pooh, the original 70s version I do like a lot more. Yeah, it's really just a collection of shorts that are stringed together, but it's just so comfortable. And as a kid, I loved the Winnie the Pooh characters, with Eeyore probably being my favorite just because of how cynical he is. There's just some kind of sense of innocence with Winnie the Pooh, and I'm strangely drawn to that. Number 2, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Speaking of innocence, this is the complete opposite. The Hunchback is a much more mature Disney movie, especially for the themes of, like, religion and, like, lust. I can't remember if I saw it in theaters or not. If I did, I didn't really understand the film that much. But after rewatching it as an adult, I'm like, holy shit. Out of all the Disney films of the 90s, this is probably the one that doesn't belong the most. But I still love it for a couple of reasons. One, because of its maturity, like I just said. And 2, Tony Jay as Frollo. I love Tony Jay's voice. And 3, the music. Holy shit, the music. The music, the bells of Notre Dame in the beginning and the bells at the end are so amazing. And of course, Hellfire being one really great song. Alright, now for my number 1. It's The Great Mouse Detective. I'm completely serious, that's my favorite. I watched this movie as a kid quite a lot. I never owned the VHS, but I did rent it a lot. And like I said with The Rescuers Down Under, for some reason I'm drawn to mice on adventures. And this was just one really fun adventure. Basil is such a great protagonist, and Dawson by his side is such a great supporting character, and then of course Ratigan is a great villain. Voiced by the late great Vincent Price, another voice that I absolutely love. So yeah, The Great Mouse Detective is awesome. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It's severely underrated. It has been getting more traction over the years, but still, it can't be talked about enough. So those are my top 12 favorite 2D Disney animated films. Were some of them also your favorites? Tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to save.